I want to give my thoughts on what's going on with the recent Activision Blizzard lawsuit, which is happening. And I also want to educate you guys as to what is going on in case you're not aware of this, because I think this is crucial. This could be a key turning point for Blizzard in the long run. So it seems, it doesn't seem, there's some very strong allegations that there are major issues inside Blizzard when it comes to sexual harassment, specifically towards females. There is racial discrimination. There's all kinds of issues going on inside Activision Blizzard, and this Californian Department for Fair Employment and Housing investigation has brought to light a lot of this, and as such, that State Department is going to sue Activision Blizzard. So what I want to do in this video is go over what the allegations are, and I also want to go over what the responses have been from various people at Blizzard. So let's do this, because this is it's something we need to do. We need to talk about this because, well, we just need to talk about it because this is unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. You know, remember, this is a company with certain values, certain, a mission statement by which it's supposed to function by. And one of those statements is every voice matters, but clearly it does not. It really does not, unless you're in a management position and you're a white male. Apparently, if you're one of those, then great. If you're not, then apparently it doesn't matter, and this is bad. So, content warning, guys, trigger warning, and everything, because what I'm about to read off right now is going to give you a summary, and then we're going to go into detail on what's happened. So, the California Department for Fair Employment and Housing are suing Activision Blizzard for content warning, trigger warning, groping, cube crawling, which is basically pub crawling, but instead of going around pubs, you're going around cubicles while you're at work, heavily drunk, harassing people, generally women, sharing indecent images of female co-workers, sexual harassment, suicide, rape, the Cosby Room, which, as you've probably guessed, is a reference to Bill Cosby, and it's a very senior ex-member of Blizzard whose apparent room at BlizzCon was known as the Cosby Suite, or the Cosby Room, where, well, yeah, you can imagine what was going on in there. Racial discrimination, and a lot more. So what I want to do is go in and read. This is from, I'm going to put a link to this in the video description below. It's a fairly lengthy document, but I'm going to pull some bits and pieces out of this just to give you guys an idea as to what's going on and why this is so important we talk about this as well. All right, then. In general, female employees were further treated negatively due to their pregnancies. Supervisors ignored medical restrictions given to female employees and gave them negative evaluations while they were out on maternity leave. Other female employees reported that they were criticized for leaving to pick up their children from daycare while their male counterparts were playing video games, and female employees were kicked out of lactation rooms so employees could use the room for meetings. Women of color were particularly vulnerable targets of the defendants' discriminatory practices. An African-American employee noted it took her 2 years to be made into a permanent employee, while men hired after her were made permanent employees. She was also micromanaged such that her male co-workers were known to be playing video games without any intervention by her supervisor, but a supervisor will call and check on her if she took a break to go on a walk. Another African-American employee who worked on information technology was similarly micromanaged by her manager, unlike the other men. When she requested time off work, her manager made her write a one-page summary of how she would spend that time off work when no one else had to do any write-up. The male supervisors were also criticized her body language, despite male counterparts slouching in meetings, and she was scolded for asking for assistance while others could get help on similar tasks without the same criticism. These experiences led female employees to leave their employment with the defendants. So that's bad. That's super bad. What I'm about to read you now is even worse. Like, this is really bad. So content warning here, guys, trigger warning and all of that. In a tragic example of the harassment that defendants allowed to fester in their offices, a female employee committed suicide while on a company trip due to a sexual relationship that she'd been having with a male supervisor. The male supervisor was found by police to have bought a butt plug and lubricant on this business trip. Another employee confirmed that the deceased female employee may have been suffering from other sexual harassment at work prior to her death. Specifically, at a holiday party before her death, male co-workers were alleged to have been passing around a picture of the deceased's vagina. I can't even, like, there is no words to it. Like, I cannot believe I have read that. That is just absolutely, that's just insane. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. But we go on. In a blatant example of defendant's refusal to deal with a harasser because of his seniority and position, Alex Afrasiabi, the former senior creative director of World of Warcraft at Blizzard Entertainment, and I will just stop here a second, guys. This is someone who's been at Blizzard since, I believe, 2004. This is like a person who is an integral part of World of Warcraft. And just let that sink in a little bit. He's senior creative director of World of Warcraft. Was permitted to engage in blatant sexual harassment with little to no repercussions. What? During a company event, an annual convention called BlizzCon, Afrasiabi would hit on female employees, telling him he wanted her to marry them, attempting to kiss them, and putting his arms around them. This was in plain view of other male employees, including supervisors, who had to intervene and pull him off female employees. Afrasiabi was also known to engage in harassment of females that his suite was nicknamed the Crosby Suite after alleged rapist Bill Cosby. What the hell? Afrasiabi would also call females derogatory names at company events. Afrasiabi's conduct was known to Blizzard Entertainment's executives who took no effective remedial measures. J. Allen Brack, president of Blizzard Entertainment, allegedly had multiple conversations with Afrasiabi about his drinking and that he had been too friendly towards female employees. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to stop that there. Too friendly? This guy's got the Cosby Suite and he's had to be pulled off women. Oh, he's too friendly. Oh, it's cool, he's cool. No, he's not. No, he really is not. Afrasiabi's conduct was known to Blizzard Entertainment executives who took no effective remedial measures. J. Allen Brack, president of Blizzard Entertainment, allegedly had multiple conversations with Afrasiabi about his drinking and that he had been too friendly towards female employees at company events, but gave Afrasiabi a slap on the wrist, i.e. a verbal counselling. In response to these incidents, verbal counselling in response to these incidents, I'm getting so livid, I'm just like, what the hell? What is going on? Subsequently, Afrasiabi continued to make unwanted advances towards female employees, including grabbing a female employee's hand and inviting her to his hotel room, and then groping another woman. This is instant dismissal. You are instantly dismissed for that. No, but not this guy, because he's old school, right? He's 2004 Blizzard, we made World of Warcraft. Yeah, there's a very famous, well, it's famous now, infamous, let's say, clip of J. Allen Brack and this guy from 2010 BlizzCon, and a lady steps up and she says, do you think we could make less sexualized characters? And they just literally laugh at the woman, make some obscene comment about what magazine do you think we should go for next? Maybe the Cow magazine. They're all laughing. J. Allen Brack's laughing, whatever. Great. The woman looks the most awkward smile back she gives, and off she goes. That is terrible. That and J. Allen Brack's now the president of Blizzard, and he knew about this guy's behavior, and he only gave him a slight verbal warning. That is ridiculous. That to me says these guys are too friendly with each other and they're looking after each other. Could be a bit of a rock star element going on at Blizzard, like we made World of Warcraft, so we're untouchable, we can do what we like. Goes on. Defendants have also fostered a pervasive frat boy workplace culture that continues to thrive. In the office, women are subjected to cube crawls in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and often engage in inappropriate behaviour towards female employees. Male employees proudly come into work hungover, play video games for long periods of time during work, while delegating their responsibilities to female employees. Engage in banter about their sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, and joke about rape. Well, that's great, isn't it, boys? That's great, isn't it? That is so bloody bad. I cannot believe that I've literally read that off. It is just, it's actually unbelievable that I've read that off. So now let's go to what was actually sent around. We've got 2 emails now from Blizzard. These were sent to employees. So everybody at Blizzard got this email. If you work there at Blizzard, you got a Blizzard email, you get this sent to you, right? The first one is from J. Allen Brack, right? And I don't think you're about to believe what I'm going to read off, because this is crazed. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's such a poor comment. And the next one is even worse. Like, it's so bad. Hello, Blizzard. I personally have a lot of emotions coming out of yesterday, and I know you do too. The allegations and the hurt of the current and former employees are extremely troubling. I know many of you would like to receive more clarity. While I can't comment on the specifics of the case, as it's an open investigation, what I can say is the behaviour detailed in the allegations is completely unacceptable. It goes with saying, it is completely unacceptable for anyone in the company to face discrimination or harassment. It goes with saying that everyone should feel safe working here, whether we are on campus, at BlizzCon, or working from home. It goes with saying it takes courage to come forward and all claims we brought to the company are investigated by internal and, when needed, external investigators. We take these claims very seriously. Claims can be made without fear of retaliation, and many times I attend to them personally, along with our other leaders. Like the way he attended to this Afrasabi guy after he apparently had a rape room, you had to pull him off women. He would make inappropriate comments. He'd grab women. He'd grope women. No, mate, don't do that. That's instant dismissal. Stepping back, when I talked with Bobby about taking this job, so this is Bobby Kotick, who's the overall boss of Activision Blizzard. Again, not a very likable character in a lot of ways. One of the first things I mentioned, I can't, this is so pathetic. I'm going to read this off. Now, this is crazy. Stepping back, when I talked with Bobby Kotick, Bobby, about taking this job, one of the first things I mentioned was a revered saint of the Brack household, Gloria Steinem. So if you go to Google, right, and you type in Gloria Steinem, right, which, I did the same thing. I was like, I don't know who Gloria Steinem is. I didn't before I hit Google. Well, I've typed it into Google now. Gloria Marie Steinem is an American feminist journalist and social political activist who became nationally recognized as a leader and a spokeswoman. Let me just get the rest of Wikipedia open. For the American feminist movement in the late 60s and 1970s. He's also a columnist for New York Magazine, etc., which is a leading feminist, right? So he's saying, no, I understand female issues. Gloria, she was the patron saint of the Brack household. Oh, yes, I understand what you're saying. It's actually pathetic that that's been wrote in an email. It's actually pathetic. So if I type in American feminists, right, what do I get? I get Gloria. 37 inspiring women who shaped feminism. Suffragettes, blah, 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 blah. Eleanor Roosevelt. Gloria Steinem. You could be extremely cynical and go, has he just literally Googled that and threw it out there? Because we got no way of proving that. It's crazy. Like, I can't believe, like, that is like, hi guys, I'm relating to you. But by the way, I don't punish anyone for doing it. It's crazed. It's absolutely crazed. It's mental. This statement is so bad. It's bad. But what's crazy is because he's actually released it. He thinks it's fine. It's like, what is going on? The value of women as equals, understanding the work that has been done for equal treatment, and the fact that there was still much to do were common themes. This is just one of the reasons why the fight for equality is incredibly important to me. Yet I don't enforce it. It's mental. It's like, what the fuck, man? It's so bad. People with different backgrounds, views, and experiences are essential for Blizzard. Our teams and our player community. I disdain bro culture and spent my career fighting against it. Yet, remember the clip I just told you guys about? He's literally sitting at BlizzCon with this Alex guy and a bunch of other people from World of Warcraft, laughing at a woman who steps up and says, do you think we could have less sexualized characters in the game? They laugh at the woman, make a reference to a cow magazine, and the woman is gone. It's like, what is that? That is literally 100% bro culture. Like, what the frig? You know what I mean? This pisses me off, right? This has always pissed me off about Blizzard. Their constant blabbing about iteration. We iterate on this, we iterate on that, we iterate on this. Okay, great. He writes it in this email. He says, iterating on our culture, it basically just means like constant revisions, like trying to improve constantly, right? You know, you make a game update and then you make another one. You're all iterating on design, okay? So it makes sense in that way. Anyway, he says this, iterating on our culture with the same intensity that we bring to our games is imperative. With our values acting as our North Star, this is some of the most important work we do, both as professionals and human beings. A company is more than a legal construct that exists as a piece of paper in a filing cabinet in Delaware. The people that work at the company make it what it is through their actions and creations. Each of us plays a role in maintaining a place of safety for one another. It is also up to each of us to continue to craft the Blizzard we want and commit to doing our part in keeping Blizzard great, but always aspiring for more. The leadership team and I will be meeting with many of you to answer questions and discuss how we can move forward. In the meantime, I want you to know that you can talk to any manager. He does realise that it's the managers that seem to be the problem, right? The managers are the ones who have got a free pass to do whatever they like. But hey, it's fine. If you've got a problem, just go and talk to your manager. I'm sure he'll help you out. And he won't possibly completely wreck your career in some sort of nefarious way because, well, you're trying to oust him or one of his bro mates. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's making me so angry. This is literally this is the angriest I've been in a video, I think, ever. It's so bad. So you can talk to any manager, any HR partner, any member of the legal team, to any one of the executive team, including Hey Jay. If you feel more comfortable talking to someone outside of Blizzard or prefer to be anonymous, you can contact the We2 Integrity line. I feel angry, sad, and a host of other emotions, but I also feel grateful to work alongside a set of leaders and thousands of employees who join me in their commitment to continuous improvement. Thank you, Blizzard. Jab. I think I said enough actually on that there. I think that is just that as a statement is ridiculously bad. It's like I can't. Anyway, it gets worse, right? It gets worse. So then there's another email. This is from Fran Townsend. She is she was the Homeland Security Advisor to George W. Bush from 2004 to 2007. She joined Activision in March, and then she sent out this email. And this sent people the J. Allen Brack email. It's bad, right? It's like, what the hell, man? Are you even we at the same company here? What's going on? This one though is just, it beggars belief, and this one acted as a trigger for everybody working at Blizzard to stand up. And I'm going to say to you guys right now, you are the bravest people out there. Like you look at it this way, right, guys? You can't just leave your job because you would be wrecked. How will you pay your rent, your mortgage? How would you live? You need your job to survive. You've got a job, and you go out there and you start talking about what's been going on in your workplace because finally it's all coming to light. What stops the company targeting you and just cancelling you? Hell, this is, you could say, like, I'm not comparing, this is in no way a comparison. Like, what I'm about to say here has no bearing on what the very brave people have been doing at Blizzard who've been coming out, sharing their stories and saying this is wrong and this happened to me. That is a level of bravery I don't think I'll ever have. But even the fact I've made this video, this could result in that's it. I don't have no more contact with Blizzard. And that's bad for me, right? Because, hey, I've been to every major Overwatch event. I was on the last Overwatch 2 stream. I love the games. I love Overwatch. Like, what the frick? Overwatch. Look at where okay, I've got a lot of memorabilia, but I have literally lived this game for nearly 6 years, made thousands of videos, and even just talking about this now, one of these bros at Blizzard could be like, fuck that Stylosa guy, we're not giving him anything, we're just going to blacklist him, we don't want him doing stuff. So it's risky in that way, but on the other hand, we need change and we've got to talk about this. But in no way am I comparing that to the like, because it don't matter, like, I can just do what I like. I don't answer to no one, right? I answer to myself, Everybody working at Blizzard who are out there putting their name out, their experience out right now, they could be targeted by Blizzard, and it takes a lot of courage to do that. And I will never understand that myself. Like, I will never be in a position to even need to do that, right? So you guys are awesome. But look, this email is horrific. I'm going to read it off now. So this is from Fran. Everyone, As the executive sponsor of the ABK Employees Women's Network and our Chief Compliance Officer, I wanted to reach out to you. I know this has been a very difficult time for many of us. A recent filed lawsuit presented a distorted and untrue picture of our company, including factually incorrect, old, and out of context stories from more than a decade ago. So literally in the first paragraph of this email, she's saying everything everybody is saying is bullshit. All these people on Twitter everywhere who are talking about the problems, current employees, past employees, they're all liars. It's bullshit. This entire thing is crap. Don't listen to it. Can you imagine how incensed, how infuriated you would be reading that if you know this stuff's going on? The Activision companies of today, the Activision companies that I know, are great companies with good values. When I joined the executive leadership team, I was certain that I was joining a company where I would be valued and treated with respect, and provided opportunities equal to those afforded to the men of the company. For me, this has been true during my time. As a leader, I am committed to making sure that the experience I have is the same as the rest of the organisation. We have a leadership team that is committed to these principles in every way. I am proud to be part of a community that takes a hardline approach to the inappropriate or hostile work environments and sexual harassment issues. Our Speak Up campaign reinforces our zero tolerance for retaliation against those who do speak up. We've made significant investments to foster inclusive behaviours and to reflect greater diversity within our leadership teams, including investigating in and strengthening our DE&I employee networks, creating global networks to bring together more efforts in all of our business units, and the introduction of executive sponsors. Introducing learning and development programs, including inclusive hiring training. Amplifying internal programs such as the Way to Play Heroes and the reoccurring Speak Up campaign. Reinforcing channels for employees to report violations, including the Ask list. Introducing an employee retaliations employee retaliations team. I mean, fucking hell, what? It doesn't say that though. That's just that's a slip of the tongue off me. It says introducing an employment relations team dedicated to investigating employment concerns. Continuing to require all employees to take equality and diversity training, including anti-harassment training, and I've done so for many years. We put tremendous effort into creating fair compensation policies that reflect our commitment to equal opportunity. We review compensation regularly and feel confident that we pay all employees fairly for equal or substantially similar work. We take proactive steps to ensure that pay and advancement are driven by merit. We reward performance and we conduct extensive anti-discrimination trainings, including for those who are part of the compensation process. We work at a company that truly values equality and fairness. Rest assured that leadership is committed to continuing to maintain a safe, fair, and inclusive workplace. We cannot let egregious actions of others and a truly meritless and irresponsible lawsuit damage our culture of respect and equal opportunity for all employees. What the fuck? Like, that comment is so bad because, like I said, there are hundreds of tweets out there, loads of stuff coming out from Blizzard that it's clear this is happening. And we ain't even got, like, we're going to get onto Mike Morhaime, the ex-president of Blizzard. There's a lot more we're going to cover in this video because there's a lot going on here, right? But it is insane. Like, basically, we know this is going on now because of all the stories coming out. Yet here is this person saying, nah, it's not happening. It's all a lie. I would be... We aspire in our company to do great things, in our games, in our impact on society, in our work environment. We continue to hold firm to principles and invest, as we have in the past, in the resources to ensure quality opportunities for all employees. We remain committed as a leadership team to doing what is right. Fran? Well, I mean, if you remain committed to doing what's right, after all of this stuff, there has to be some major changes. You can't just carry on. They can't just go, it's fine. We're just going to carry on because it's cool. You know, let's just move on. Like, you can't pull a Ubisoft. You're going to have to do something about this because this is Blizzard. And Blizzard, I mean, hell, you guys are all fans of Overwatch. I make content on Overwatch. This game is supposed to be about inclusivity, diversity, and the very company that's producing this game. Now, I'm not saying the team, the Overwatch team itself, doesn't seem to have any, let's say, problems with this, but it's a Blizzard problem, and they are part of Blizzard. So it affects them, right? So what I want to move on to now is Mike Morhaime. Okay, so Mike Morhaime tweets my thoughts. So Mike Morhaime, just to let you guys know who he is, he was the founder of Blizzard, basically, well, co-founder. Essentially started the company and was the president up until very recently when he left. And J. Allen Brack took over. I think he left in like 2018. Did he leave in 2018? I think he left. Because I remember at that BlizzCon, I think it was 2018, Mike did a sign-in session on the top floor, and he must have had like 5,000 people in a queue. It was ridiculous because it was the last time you're ever going to see his signature. Which again might be the issue with these guys. Like I said earlier, this rock star mentality, I'm untouchable, I can do what I like type of thing. So let's read what he says. I have read the full complaint against Activision Blizzard and many of the other stories. It is all very disturbing and difficult to read. I am ashamed. It feels like everything I thought I stood for has been washed away. What's worse, but even more important, real people have been harmed and some women had terrible experiences. I was at Blizzard for 28 years. During that time, I tried very hard to create an environment that was safe and welcoming for people of all genders and backgrounds. I knew that it was not perfect. So, there's that could be construed as an admission of like, I knew there were problems and I had to sort them, but I didn't. Or it could just be, hey, nothing's perfect, guys, But clearly, we were far from that goal. The fact that so many women were mistreated and were not supported means we let them down. In addition, we did not succeed in making it feel safe for people to tell their truth. It is no consolation that other companies have faced similar challenges. I wanted us to be different and better. You see, that pisses me off as well, because you can come out and just go, oh, well, this happens everywhere. That doesn't make it fine. Like, that's shit. That's like, oh, yeah, no, it happens everywhere. But I just want to say, I want us to be different, but, it happens everywhere, guys. Come on. Like, what the hell? Like, you have to, like, if you are the president, I mean, he was a CEO of Activision Blizzard. J. Allen Brack is a president. That's not the same level, right? There's only one CEO now, and that's Bobby Kotick. Mike could have made things, could have sorted issues out, right? Harassment and discrimination exist. They are prevalent in our industry. It is the responsibility of leadership to keep all employees feeling safe, supported, and treated equally, regardless of gender and background. It is the responsibility of leadership to stamp out toxicity and harassment in any form across all levels of the company. To the Blizzard women who experienced any of these things, I am extremely sorry that I failed you. I realise that these are just words, but I wanted to acknowledge the women who had awful experiences. I hear you, I believe you, and I'm so sorry that I've let you down. I want to hear your stories if you are willing to share them. As a leader in our industry, I can and will use my influence to help drive positive change and to combat misogyny, discrimination, and harassment wherever I can. I believe we can do better, and I believe the gaming industry can be a place where women and minorities are welcomed, including supported, recognised, rewarded, and ultimately unimpeded from the opportunities to make the types of contributions that all of us in this industry join to make. I want the mark I leave in this industry to be something that we can all be proud of, Mike. Okay, so if you compare that to the J. Allen Brack, that's a somewhat better statement, like apologising. The issue is, though, these were the people named in the article, in the legal document. Mike would have known about this. Like, I refuse to believe that you would be the boss of a company and be so insulated for what's going on. You don't know what's going on. You would know what is going on. People have reached out to Mike and told him. I was always under the impression that Mike was just like, he wasn't like this guy who was locked away in his office and you never seen him. He was around the Blizzard campus. You could go and talk to him. I met him very briefly at the Overwatch League finals in New York for the first season. Just said hello to him. Wasn't much of a conversation. You know, he's a very softly spoken guy. He doesn't look like he's some ultra aggressive, like in your face dude. He's chill. He's calm. Maybe he was a pushover. Maybe other people were like, Mike, you shut your mouth. We're going to do what we like here. You just don't know. Like, this is the thing. You just don't know. But he here is saying he's sorry for it. There are problems. They're acknowledging it. And yet in the same you've got the chief compliance officer of Blizzard going, it's all bullshit and a lie. And then you've got a ridiculous statement off the current president of Blizzard. It's insane. Right. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring up comments that people at Blizzard and ex employees have said, right? Because again, this helps us build a better image as to what's going on. So the first one here, this is from I'm gonna get the name wrong. Screwstick, I think it's the name is Screwstick. I think that's how to pronounce that. A game master, a senior game master, and a producer. 13 years and 7 months at Blizzard, right? And they left in April 2020. This is what they said. I'm going to come out and say it. I was one of these women. My incident happened in 2013 at BlizzCon. I didn't say anything officially until I decided to leave the company last year because of name recognition and fear of retaliation. I have also had other incidents described here and some not in several areas. It was wonderful to work there. Sometimes it wasn't. Most of my co-workers were wonderful, talented people who care about quality games. Some weren't. The problem was the lack of accountability. I want to reiterate that overall, the people who make up the teams at Blizzard are wonderful. They care about each other and their work and the games they make. These things can exist at the same time. It's been on a better path. I hope it keeps moving forward that way and that this helps. I will also say that this is the first time I've publicly said this name, and I still feel dread about the fact that I did. Still, it's really difficult to not delete this thread. Anyway, I credit Blizzard with pretty much everything good in my life, and with a lot of this. These are not conflicting concepts, they are motivations for more of the former and reducing and removing the culprits of the latter. P.S. If you think this is just a Blizzard thing, you're mistaken. It's industry, especially before 2015 and so on. And, you know, I'm not disputing that. It is an industry thing, but we're talking about Blizzard here. Like, they've got to do a lot here to sort out what's going on within their company. And I just really hope this is like the start of change, right? They completely clean their house, they clean all the issues they've got, things start changing, and it has a wider ramifications and implications and a ripple effect across the community of game development, across all publishers, right? I hope that's the case. Reign of Terror. Okay, so she was a senior systems engineer, 4 years and 1 month, and left in January 2019. Oh yeah, a really important thing. This isn't some special new thing that happened because of Activision Blizzard's merger. This is Blizzard culture. Don't give Blizzard yet another pass just because it's fun to dunk on Bobby Kotick. And guess what? She actually... Okay, so I thought there was a response here from Mike Morhaime to that, but there's not. She's responding to Mike Morhaime's My Thoughts, which I've already read out to you guys. Ben Kilgore was investigated for inappropriate conduct with female employees as early as 2016. Yet, in May 2017, he was promoted from Chief Technology Officer to Chief Development Officer. How was that situation allowed to occur? The Women's Council knew about the allegations. So again, saying, look, Mike, this happened under your watch. What's going on? Again, I'm going to get these names so wrong. Like, I don't know what it is. Some names I can't read. So I think this is Cronum, I think. Senior Site Reliability Engineer, 2 years and 6 months at Blizzard, and left in May 2019. Something to keep in mind on the Activision Blizzard's suit. It's the only instance they know about. There are more. One high-level abuser was quietly shuffled out of the company without a word. I'm sure he wasn't the only one. Kayla Glover worked in Overwatch Esports. I've worked with her. Fantastic. She was an incredible help at the Overwatch World Cup in 2019. She was doing the work of about 4 people. It was a joke. She was horrifically overworked. It was a miracle she managed to do what she did. She was basically marshalling almost all of the Overwatch teams for the World Cup, doing everything. She was so overworked. It was. Like, it just makes me angry now. Like, we know this is coming out. It's like, could there have been men that should have been helping her with this? And it's like, now we'll just make her do it. Like, she says, there is a lot I could add about my own experience, but I won't here. Though I will say that while there are some abhorrent people that contributed to this, there were also advocates who always tried to do the right thing. So please don't harass people over this news. I am glad it's out and hopefully we'll push for change in the correct direction, because I want all my friends, all my talented and wonderful people still there to succeed without being in a toxic space. Again, I'm going to get this name wrong. Alalori. She's had various positions as a project manager. 6 years and 10 months at Blizzard, left in April 2019. It's been 2.5 years and I still carry a lot of pain from my time at Blizzard. I stayed too long, 7 years, clinging to the Blizzard label. I'm finally at a company where I'm paid and treated fairly, and I want the same from my old teammates. Don't wait, ladies, you deserve more. I was only 20 when I interned at Blizzard. 21 when I joined full-time. I thought that what I was experiencing was normal, but this is just the game industry. Even when I talked to peers, mentors, or even HR, the environment was normalized. HR literally told me, you are being a brat. So again, you can't go to HR because they're in on this as well, basically. For so long, I thought I had to go with the flow to keep my job and get promoted. I only felt safe to push back once I had a title and pay that covered my bills. I made so many excuses to stay at the job because it was cool to work at Blizzard. I hope more women don't make my mistake. So Kyle, he was social media content producer for Overwatch League and was amazing. So in the first season, he was really good. So he was at Blizzard for a year and 2 months and left in November 2018. And this is a fairly lengthy thread, but we're going to go through it. I got into a lot of arguments with the frat bros at both Blizzard and Twitch. There's a reason I left both places so quickly, which sucks because there were people at both who were grinding it out because they truly cared about what they worked, where they worked, and the products they worked on. I mean, Blizzard was literally the top of the mountain for me. So when I found out that I hated the culture, I had a real crisis of faith about what to do next. It broke me for a while. I used to get into trouble because I wouldn't engage in the forum of open criticism. That was the company Slack channel, where everyone got to weigh in on every social media post we made. People who didn't work in social got to tag us and critique us in front of the entire channel. I'd let them know what I thought of their critique and then leave the social media channel and was told, but the optics. Their critique was never constructive. One dude who had lots of thoughts about how we did things was like, I ran community back here in 2008, so I know what I'm talking about. I can't even describe the vast difference between 2008 community work and 2017 brand social media work. Also, a quick reminder, be loyal to people and not companies. They don't give a shit about you. A company is never a family. The moment you have red in the column next to your name, you're gone, even if the company is profitable. One last thing. What I went through was not 1/10 as bad as the women and people of colour would likely have been through. For every loudmouth like me, there's someone afraid to speak up because of their fear of retaliation, industry blackballing, or even litigation. So call me Christopher. This is Game Master and Game Designer, 7 years and 2 months. Left in 2020. Confession time. I have considered going to the press or a lawyer, or both, over things that happened to me at Blizzard, but I always felt like it was just me misinterpreting things. I would always take the blame for what happened. In the end, make excuses, write things off. But something about seeing all this play out, to see other women come forward, I'm so beyond proud of them. It takes courage that I have yet to muster. This isn't the Twitter thread where I dish, sorry. This is the thread where I relate broadly and deeply. If you said something, if you took action, if you silently endured, but you are feeling quietly vindicated, and even if it's never happened to you or anyone you know, you're brave, you matter, it's probably not in your head. Alex Frostwolf. Now, I've spoke to Alex quite a lot. Like, Alex is now the social media manager for Apex Legends, but she used to be at Blizzard. So she's PR writer, social media manager, BlizzCon contest manager. And this was one of the most highly liked and retweeted. I mean, this has got 61,000 likes on it, this tweet has. I left Blizzard after my boss gaslit me so badly my hair started falling out. My profit sharing, which I relied on to make ends meet, and let me just explain what profit sharing is. So you basically get a percentage of the profit of the company, effectively. That's the simplest way to look at it. So if the company does well, you make more money. But that means the company, if it wants to be particularly vindictive, can hold you to ransom with that because it can reduce the amount you get. You can say that this is because you're not working good enough, and force you to do extra work, and then, it's bad what it can do. So Alex says, my profit sharing, which I relied on to make ends meet, was docked due to underperforming. And when I went to HR to fight it with proof against his claims, I was told, maybe you are underperforming. Gaslighting, that is. The fucked up part, I hated leaving. Blizzard was my dream job, and I loved to work. I loved the work I did there and the people I worked with, and I still do, to the point of almost returning. But the amount of people who still remain in management positions, even after multiple accusations, kept me away. Years later, during a studio visit to see some friends, I saw him and we made eye contact. I spent the next 10 minutes locked in a bathroom sobbing. I love Blizzard, I truly did. But they employ predators in every sense, and we've all internally been saying that for years. To anyone else who has ever been unfairly treated or made to feel lesser in their workplace because of their gender, age, race, or sexuality, I know how you feel, and my DMs are always open to you. The work you do is valid, and you have so much worth. And there's a lot more. Like, there is a lot more. Like, I don't want to dismiss all the comments, but there is a hell of a lot more. So, what does this mean for Blizzard? And what happens here? And what is the point of all of this? And what's going on? What does it mean for us? What does it mean for Overwatch? Well, there has been comments from producers who work on Overwatch. In fact, I'll bring it up. I'm not going to ad-lib this. I will bring this up. Let me bring this up. Because we can't just we need quotes of this. And again, this is somebody extremely brave who is currently working at Blizzard, speaking out against Blizzard, and okay. So she said, Tracy Kennedy, she is a producer on Overwatch, change has to come from the top. Grassroots rallying and nice words can't fix systemic toxicity. I am very lucky to be on a team now that treats me well, but being treated like a competent human being shouldn't be a matter of luck. And that is shocking. Like, it's shocking, So it's good in the sense, like, hey, maybe the Overwatch team is fine. It doesn't have these issues. Other teams do. And it's coming down from the top. There is this bro culture. There isn't any punishment for these people. They've been getting away with it for years. They've literally ruined a lot of women's lives. There's been horrific gaslighting. It's just sexual harassment. There's everything. This is bad. This is super, super bad. Saying it happens at other companies doesn't matter. That don't matter. Like, yeah, sure, but you can't use that as an excuse, So something's got to give here. Something's got to change. And I think in the next week, we need to see something happen pretty fast. Like, something has got to happen. You can't just, like, JLM Brack cannot make a statement. In fact, actually, there was a Chris Metzen also made a statement. Let me bring that up. So he says, this is later than it should have been, but here's my response. And I'll read his response in a second. But then he also says, as for Alex, I loved working with him and jamming in story meetings. This is talking about Alex Afrasiabi, who, again, like, Cosby Room, he was let go out of the company. They obviously knew he was wrong. He was never punished. He had to be pulled off women. I mean, what the fuck, man? He was someone I thought very highly of on the job, but we never interacted outside of story jams and such. I was never his boss. We never really interacted outside of doing the work or taking smoke breaks. And then part 2 of this, we haven't worked closely together since, hang on. We haven't worked closely together, I think he probably means since Wrath of the Lich King. I've never heard a peep about him other than that he could be tough on his team or an asshole from time to time. So learning all this the past week has just been utterly shocking, just reprehensible shit. So he's coming out and he is slating him there. But it's really worrying, isn't it? Because how can he say he doesn't know when he was Chris Metzen? Like, this is a guy who was like the upper echelons of Blizzard. Yeah, he didn't know this was going on. Like, nobody in the company would even tell him or tell anyone, or the people being told in the company wouldn't then tell him. It's like, this is deep-seated, like, it's bad. This is really like a bad culture. Anyway, let me read what he says. So he says, we failed, I am sorry. To all of you at Blizzard, those of you I know and those of whom I've never met, I offer you my deepest apologies for the part I played in a culture that fostered harassment, inequality, and indifference. There is no excuse. We failed too many people when they needed us because we had the privilege of not noticing, not engaging, and not creating necessary space for the colleagues who needed us as leaders. I wish my apology could make any kind of difference. It can't. And also, before I go on here, like, you compare this back to the Morhaime statement. They are basically admitting they know this was going on, like, and they did nothing to fix it. And, there's a load of tweets that are now popping up, and it's like, oh, God, why didn't we do anything about it? Because we didn't need to, it was fine. We're Blizzard. We made World of Warcraft, and like think about Blizzard. Every game Blizzard made when it launched was a critical hit and was like the biggest. Even Diablo 3, as bad as its launch was, it was the biggest PC game ever sold when it came out. Sold the most copies. Warcraft just makes tons of money. Hearthstone, massive hit. Overwatch, massive hit. They just don't talk about Heroes of the Storm. After reading so many experiences that have been shared over the past few days, a lot of common themes screamed out. I was conditioned to think it was normal. I never spoke up for fear of reprisal. I don't trust HR. Nothing was wrong. Well, nothing was going to change anyway. And on it goes. Friends and colleagues, people I valued and admired for years, were directly harmed because I was not present enough to ask, to listen, to hear these stories when it mattered. I'm left feeling the same shock, disgust, and anger that many of you are, and having trouble reconciling the place I knew, loved, and worked in for so long with the hard reality that it is being presented over the last few days. It's like staring at two totally different worlds. So, maybe it was a case that he was living in this just bubble of like, hey, Blizzard is great and nothing's wrong with us. Yeah, actually, there was loads of stuff going on and he was so blind to it, he just didn't even know. But I find that really hard to believe. In fact, I'll say this to Chris Metzen and I'll say this to Mike Morhaime. I think the thing they can do now, if they truly want to help this, is offer their assistance to this investigation. Surely that's the best thing they can do. But it's not. It's just the one world. And the yawning disconnect between my perception from the top and the crushing reality many of you experience fills me with profound shame. Words are cheap. Not sure what grand sweeping promises really do either. Accountability starts with people, not corporations or platitudes or values cast in iron around a statue. So, that's him talking about the orc statue at Blizzard, which, you remember the Blitzchung incident? Somebody went out and covered up the Every Voice Matters tenant around the orc, and it became iconic. It's like, yeah, you can't as a company claim to be inclusive, every voice matters, when clearly you've got management is so systemically rotten that it's just stopping people advancing because of the color of their skin. Oh, you're a woman, I'll do what I like to then because I'm a man. That type of thing. It's so bad. More than making the conscious it's not enough to just say I see you and I hear you when terrible things happen to women in and out of the workplace. We have to be present enough and willing enough to ask them with their experiences, what their experiences are day to day, and then do everything we can to support them with respect, dignity, and opportunities they deserve. More than making a conscious choice to act this way, we must constantly and thoughtfully model this behavior around us, hold each other accountable, and be ready to be held accountable. Actually, I've missed a section off here. Hang on. I've missed a section. Let me just go back here. So, yeah, he says, so many of us have women we cherish in our lives. I am a father of 3, including 2 daughters, and I want them to flourish in workplaces of their choosing. But we shouldn't need a special connection to the women in our lives in order to protect them, to listen to them, to give them space. Like, you know, that again, like this statement wasn't too bad until suddenly it's like, hey guys, I've got daughters. I understand. It's like, it's so ridiculous. Like that, why even say that? It's so ridiculous. Anyway, the final paragraph says, more than making the conscious choice to act this way, we must constantly and thoughtfully model this behavior to those around us, hold each other accountable, and be ready to be held to account and listen at every stage of the game. Chris Metzen. Now, the issue with this, right, is let's just throw a scenario out there. I'm sorry this video is going long, guys, but there's just so much to talk about. And I know I haven't made a video for a few days, so I've been trying to process all of this that's going on. If you are in a position, let's say you've got me, Tom, and I'm sitting there and I'm an artist on Overwatch, right? And I'm doing whatever I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. Maybe, you know, something happens to me that I now need to report to a manager. The problem is, if I go and tell the manager that, let's say if I go to HR, but it's a complaint about my manager, I tell HR and then HR tells my manager. And then my manager knows what's going on, right? And then so what my manager does is doesn't give me advancement, doesn't allow me to, you know, advance in the workplace, doesn't give me better jobs to do, right? Leaves me on the worst jobs. I'm festering away. There's no advancement for me. There's no career. And he then takes it out on me because it's fine. He can do that. You know, that's a loose example there. But that's why when they say things like, oh, yeah, you should be able to just reach out and talk to someone, often it's those people that are the issue. And that's why it's a problem. So I think after all of this, you have to, I love Overwatch, and there will be, you know, I'll be making Overwatch videos. There will be videos on the channel. I just kind of wanted to, you know, I just want to talk about my experience with everybody I've met at Blizzard, which is all Overwatch specific. I think, in my opinion, all of them I've met have been really great people, right? So, you know, I met Jeff a lot, Scott Mercer, Jeff Goodman, Aaron Keller. You know, the list just goes on, right? I met a ton of people, and they were all kind people. They were all willing to talk to me. You know, it was all fine. I've been to the Blizzard campus a lot of times for recording content, seeing early stuff. You know, I've always been a huge supporter of Overwatch, and it's, you know, you start thinking like, well, if these problems are going on, you know, I thought like this. I have never interviewed a female at Blizzard. Yet everybody else, you know, all the main devs, they're all men. Like, surely that shouldn't be the case. There were a lot of great women working on Overwatch. And I'm actually trying to do something where I can highlight what these women are doing. But I will say this to you guys as well. I've been blocked by Activision Blizzard PR from doing a lot of stuff. Like, you guys may remember a very long time ago, it's a few years ago now, I did a series of videos with Jeff. So it was a one-to-one interview, like Stylosa and Jeff Kaplan. Let's talk about a feature in the game. I was told I couldn't do that. They said, no, you can't do this. Get lost. It took me a few months to try and make any progress. Just gotten on. Told it's not feasible. We can't do this. In the end, I had to literally email Jeff and say, Jeff, I want to do this. And Jeff had to make that happen. But Jeff had the power to do that. And then guess what? I got to do it with Jeff. That's crazy. Like, it's crazy. But I don't know. You could just talk about this forever. It's really frustrating to me, and I'm disappointed. But here's the thing. This is the time to act. This is the time where you fix the image of your company. Blizzard has been getting hit over recent years. And rightfully so, it should be. And this now is the apex of this. It is, you act, you've got to do something. What are you going to do, Blizzard? Because these statements you've put out are bollocks. They don't mean anything. You need to show change. You need to fix what's going on. And if you're not going to do that, you're going to keep losing all the good people that work at your company, and they're going to go to other companies, and then you're going to get worse and worse and worse, and then there is no recovery from that. And that's the truth of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. I'm going to leave it at that. It's been a long one, this has. But I wanted to get this out there, right? I really wanted to get this out there. And as I said, the reason why I haven't made videos for a few days is I've just literally been processing this. I've been looking around going, what the hell is going on here? Like, you know, and I'm hoping that the people that I've met, their names don't pop up and it's like, this person was an abuser. Because, like, I believe that they were, you know, they were fine. But maybe it was an act for me. You know, this is making me start thinking, what's actually been going on? You know what I mean? Where they just put in a show because it's like, there's a fucking influencer. We better not do this. We best do that. You know? Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Leave your comments in the video below. In the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think about this. Thank you as well if you've watched this all the way through. It's definitely something we did need to discuss because, frankly, you know, if we don't discuss this, if we don't try and, you know, shine a bit more of a light on it. I mean, I know everybody's talking about this, right? You know, there's a massive light on it. We do need to talk about it. We do need to talk about this, and I just hope that this change. It needs to change. All right, guys, thank you for watching the video. I've been Stylosa. You can follow me on everything, which is @Stylosa, and all of that stuff. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Toodaloo.